Hi, I'm Councillor Jessica Power, Basildon Council's Cabinet Member for Jobs, Skills and the Local Economy. On the 10th of February through to the 28th, we see the return of the Creative Tech Fest. This year it promises to be bigger and better than ever. There's 3 weeks of exciting and innovative events with hands-on experiences that will ignite your imagination. Whether you're curious about the latest tech trends or eager to get creative, this festival is the perfect place for you. This is an incredible opportunity for our community to dive into the world of technology and creativity. It's a chance to be inspired by cutting-edge innovations, learn new skills and collaborate on projects that will shape the future of Basildon. There's a whole schedule of hands-on activities, workshops and inspiring talks taking place across the borough, suitable for businesses and residents of all ages. For more information and to find an event that inspires you, head to the Creative Tech Fest website. You'll find the link in the post text. Don't miss out on this amazing month of opportunities and book your tickets now. Let's take this opportunity to be inspired, boost our confidence and skills and shape our borough.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you're well. Welcome along to this week's Facebook Live with me, Gavin Callaghan, the leader of Basildon Council. I'm here in the council chamber this evening because we've had a busy week. There's been lots of things going on at the council. There's lots to talk about, lots to update you on. And then, of course, we are looking ahead to a really, really busy week next week. It's the biggest week in the council's calendar year next week as we prepare for the budget meeting next Thursday. Let us just begin by having a look back at this week and reflecting really. And I would say that we began the week with a really terrible news about Roman and Darcy, those two young children who were tragically killed on our roads last Saturday evening. I think what we have seen over the course of the last week has been Basildon at its best, really. I have seen the way that the community across Chalverdon has come together, the way that people who knew Roman and Darcy have supported the family, supported friends, supported their friends in school, as well as the friends and family of the parents as well. And it's been really moving to see. I, alongside some of the councillors for Pitsea Northwest and the chief executive, I attended the vigil on Monday evening. Around 300 odd people that came out from across the Chalverdon estate to the Walthams junction on Ashlands to pay their respects to Roman and Darcy. And this, I represented Pitsea Northwest for nearly a decade as the councillor, and I know the issues with road traffic. I know the issues with street lights. I know the issues that people are facing there in terms of safety more generally with the zebra crossing and the lack of road markings, etc. And this has been a battle that we've been fighting for a long time. And I wrote to Essex County Council on Monday. I've asked for a meeting so that the councillors for Pitsea Division for the County Council and, as I say, the Pitsea Northwest councillors. And we have a meeting coming up next week with the county to talk about this. So I've asked for a 28-day action plan. I've asked them to fix the street lights on that junction. That street light has been out for years. It has been reported for years to the authorities. They need to fix it and they need to get on with it quickly. We desperately need road traffic calming measures on Ashlands, but it isn't just on Ashlands. There's a number of roads in and around Pitsea Northwest, but also around the borough that desperately need road traffic calming measures put into them. So let's hope that the tragedy that we have seen in Chalverdon, that if there is any good that can come out of this, that it is that for Roman and Darcy, that their legacy is that they are able to go on to help save other children's lives, other people's lives, because we improve road safety across Pitsea. Let that be their legacy, and let that be, for the family, something that they can take some comfort from. I've been speaking to the family about a memorial bench to be placed in the kind of Plumley's Little Cells Park on the estate where the kids lived, and we as a council will be supporting the family to do that. And the incredible amount of money that was raised over the weekend and early part of this week to support the families with the costs of the funerals and with getting things like that memorial bench and being able to remember the kids. We as a council are on hand to support in any way we can. And I'd like to thank the family, I'd like to thank the community, I'd like to thank the local councillors for everything that they did over the course of the last week. And we will continue to fight the fight for road safety on Ashlands and in the surrounding areas. And we will keep you updated as to how we get on. If you can, and if you are able, I would really, really welcome you signing the petition that was set up. Again, there are 4 key areas. It's the zebra crossing and improving the road markings on the zebra crossing. It is about fixing the street lights. It's about road traffic calming measures in and around that area. And it's about making sure that there are pavements and pathways on both sides of the road on Ashton, so that you're not having to walk into the road or ride your bike on the road or whatever it might be. And so look, we are going to keep fighting the fight on those 4 fronts. We're going to hopefully get some action from the county council. We're also meeting with Safer Essex Roads as well. That's coming up in a couple of weeks' time as well. That sign, as I drove past the vigil yesterday evening, that said, please fix our streetlights. I mean, that the children of Chalverdon are speaking, aren't they? They are asking, they're pleading with the county council to do its job and to fix the streetlights, and we will keep the pressure on to make that happen, and I'll keep you updated on it. But again, please, if you can, sign that petition. The more people that sign it, the stronger our voice, the more chance that we have of getting money and action out of the county council as well. The other big news this week came yesterday in the House of Commons when the Deputy Prime Minister announced the devolution priority programme. Now, you will have heard me on this Facebook Live numerous times over the course of the last few weeks and months, talking about how we've got to get out of Essex County Council. We've got to end this nonsense 2-tier system. You pay £200 a month council tax, £160 of that immediately goes to the county council. Things like potholes, things like road safety, things like street lights, things like children's services, youth zones, adult social care, highways improvements, all of those things that, as I sit here in the council chamber as the leader of Basildon Council, I have no power or money to fix, even though I know the issues that are going on the ground. We all have to wait for a county council to say yes or no to it. That is a nonsense. It's a nightmare. It is holding the county of Essex back, and we want to see changes, and we want to make those changes happen. And the government have said yes to that. Now, I think what's really important about this is to understand the Labour government hasn't just looked at Essex and said, we fancy picking on Essex, so we're going to put them on the devolution priority programme. The government has looked at it and have said, the county of Essex is failing, right? And we all know it. Those of us who live here, right? You can't drive down roads that are not full of potholes. You can't get your children or your grandchildren can't buy a house or rent a property because there's not enough of them being built. You can't get your children or your grandchildren into the local school because there's not enough of them being built and there's not enough expansion of places. There are no youth services left. So nowhere else in the country have cut youth services harder and faster than the county of Essex. So we don't have youth zones and we don't have places for young people to be going after school or at weekends or in school holidays. We haven't seen improvements to the infrastructure. So the A127 hasn't been improved. The Fortune of War roundabout hasn't been straightened. The road networks around our borough aren't very good. The public transport, the buses, it's not very good. And we see that every day in our daily lives, and so does the government, because it affects the economic growth. It affects wages, it affects job prospects, it affects health outcomes, it affects house building targets, the delivery of infrastructure. So this government is serious that it is going to get Britain building again, and it's going to fix these fundamental problems that for the last half century just haven't been fixed and haven't had governments or structures of government able to get on with it and deal with it. So if you take, for example, if you're Essex County Council and you're responsible for fixing all the roads and all the potholes across the entire county of Essex, that's a huge geographical area. I mean, the county of Essex is the size of the country of Northern Ireland. It is bigger than 5 of the EU member states, right? So the roads that we need fixing. You've also got the county trying to deal with adult social care and children's services and highways and all the other stuff. It's too big. It just does not work. And so the government have come in and said, we're breaking it up. We're making this simpler. We're making this more effective. So at the moment, we've got 15 different councils in Essex. 15. 15 different chief execs, 15 different council leaders, 15 different sets of councillors, 15 different planning teams, 15 different waste services, 15 different housing teams, all of the money that is being wasted in local government on duplicating work that we should now be simplifying. So the leaders of Essex have come together, and there is a consensus that we should reduce the number of councils from 15 down to 5. And we have been told by the government that we have until the 21st of March to submit our proposals to them to get 5 new unitary authorities in Essex. And that is what we're working on now. And that is what I believe, and I've always believed, is in the best interests of Basildon. Because we as a collective pay £165 million a year in council tax. At the moment, only £22.3 million of it stays in Basildon. That is a disgrace. The rest of our money is going off to Chelmsford, to Essex County Council. Under local government reorganisation, 100% of the £165 million of council tax will stay here and be spent here in Basildon by the leader of the new council of South West Essex Council. Now look, I am abolishing my job, right? I am abolishing my role as the leader of a council. I'm doing it because I think it is the right thing to do. I'm doing it because I think Essex badly needs change. I don't want my children to grow up in a borough that's full of potholes, where they can't get into the local school, where houses are not being built, where town centres are not being regenerated. All of that stuff that we see on a daily basis, the decline that we've seen on a daily basis, will be fixed through local government reorganisation. It will be fixed by having unitary councils that can actually get on and do the job of doing all of the things that we know that we want to see. So look, the LGR stuff is happening. I'm really clear we're not taking on Thurrock's debt, right? So if the government decide to merge Basildon and Thurrock together, we're not going to take on their debt. And discussions are already happening. So this is not the case that we're going to be taking on a bankrupt council. It's not the case that we're going to have sky-high raises in council tax. That is not what is going to happen, right? And so we're talking to the government about how we make it happen. Here in Basildon, we pay a higher rate of council tax than taxpayers in Thurrock do. Thurrock's council tax is lower than it is in Basildon. So there will have to be a harmonisation, if that is the case, that we merge together, of what all of that looks like. But these details need to be worked through, and we need to spend some time doing that. And so what the government have also said is that they're going to put a mayor in of Essex. So this isn't a kind of a civic mayor. This isn't someone who's going to sit in this seat in a red robe and a nice gold chain. That's not what the mayor of Essex is going to be. This is going to be a powerful person, so an Andy Burnham in Manchester, for example, who is going to be able to look at the big infrastructure projects. So fixing the A127, sorting out the buses and trying to get us, a proper railway system that works, where you don't just go east to west, but you might even be able to go north to south in Essex, that are going to fight for funding to get some real money out of government and into Essex to make sure that we're not being left behind, and that we're not just seeing levelling up money going up to the north of England, when actually we need to see it being spent here in Essex. Now, at the moment, we effectively do have a mayor of Essex. They're called the leader of Essex County Council. But the problem is, none of us get to vote for them. So having a directly elected mayor means that we all get to vote for that person, and we will get to decide who it's going to be. Now, spoiler alert, and I'll say this in the most simple way I possibly can, I am not interested in being the mayor of Essex, and I will not be standing to be the mayor of Essex. That is not what I want to be doing with my life. So just to be really clear, because I know some people are trying to become my campaign manager. They happen to wear blue rosettes, which is always amusing to me. But I'm not interested in becoming the Mayor of Essex. I want a Mayor of Essex, and I'm prepared even for it to be a Conservative Mayor of Essex. But we need that figure who can get money out of government and drive forward the big infrastructure changes that our county desperately needs. And I want all of us to have a say and a vote on that person, and it not be left up to any political party to just decide who that person is. So we are going to have elections in May 2026 to the new mayoralty in Essex. So we'll all have an opportunity to come forward then and to vote for that person. And then it looks like in May 2027, we will have the elections to the new councils. So we will vote on who the new, what the new councillors will be. So at the moment, there's about 700 odd councillors in Essex. That will be reduced down to about 300, 350. And so we will then vote on who those councillors are. All of the existing councils, Basildon, Thurrock, Southend, Chelmsford, Colchester, they will all cease to exist from around 2028. That's the timetable that the government is working to. Now, this might change, it might shift, but ultimately that's what the government have said to us yesterday that they want to work to. So for us here in Essex, there won't be elections in May this year. And let me just be clear about that. There's a lot of people who say it's the end of democracy. This process is adding even more democracy because you're getting to vote for the mayor and you're getting to vote for the new councils and you're getting to vote for who the new councillors are going to be. If you are so determined that you want to elect somebody, and everyone on my social media overnight keeps telling me, and the bots are in full overdrive, that it's going to be reform, reform, reform. If you really want to elect a reform councillor and pay them £13,000 of taxpayers' money to sit in a building with no power, with no responsibility, with no ability to change anything, only for the building to then and the institution to be abolished in 12 months' time, if you think that's a good use of taxpayers' money, I can't help you. For me, that would be a monumental waste of time and money. So let's just be really clear. We don't want to waste public money. I want the money that could be being used, and it's about £2 million, by the way, to put on elections across the county. I'd rather that £2 million was being spent on filling potholes or on road safety measures or on youth services for young people over the next 12 months than paying people who we don't even know, and let's be fair, we're not even sure of some of their backgrounds. They could end up being convicted woman beaters like our local Reform MP, James McMurdoch. We end up electing people who we don't know who they are to an institution that isn't going to exist to sit there for 12 months earning a salary to do not a lot. I don't think that's a particularly good use of time or money. Instead, I think we should be putting our time and effort into voting for a directly elected mayor. We should be putting our time and effort into voting for the new councils and the new councillors when they come forward in May 2027. Here in Basildon, we will have elections next year. There will be a chance to kick me out in May 2026. There will be a chance to vote for whoever you want in May next year, because our elections, we were never due to have elections this year. They were always, this was always a year of no elections at Basildon. We will have elections next year in May 2026, and people will be able to determine whether or not they want to keep us or vote for somebody else. Let me be really, really clear. 10 years ago, I was being told UKIP were going to beat us, they were going to smash us, they were going to do everything. I was told constantly in my seat of Pitsea North West, you've got no chance in 2016, weeks before the referendum. What happened? I beat UKIP and I increased my share of the vote. I cannot wait to be going out to the ballot box and taking on reform, because I will be all over these thugs and bluffers that with all of the nonsense, the privatising of the NHS, you name it, I'll be all over it, making sure every single person in Basildon knows who they really are and what they really want to achieve. So let's just be clear about that. I'm not running away from a fight with reform. I'm all over it, and I can't wait for it. But what they can't argue with, what no one can argue with, and what nobody has said to me in the last 24 hours, who is livid that we are not going to have county council elections to elect people for a 12-month term who are not going to be able to do anything to an institution that isn't going to exist. no one can tell me that I'm wrong about outcomes. No one can tell me I'm wrong that educational attainment in this county is going in the wrong direction. No one can tell me that I'm wrong about the fact that there's a total lack of investment in infrastructure. No one can tell me that I'm wrong about the fact that on jobs and wages and skills, on economic growth, on house building, that the county of Essex is going backwards. And I have put forward a proposal for how we fix that, how we have big, fundamental, structural change in Essex to be able to take more control, have more of our money, have more power here locally to be spent on Basildon, on our schools, on our roads, on our youth services, on our social care, on our planning, on our housing. Our money being spent here locally, my plan, LGR, devolution, combined authority with a directly elected mayor. No one seems to be arguing with me that that's the right thing to do. So let's get on with it. Let's make that change happen, and let's improve lives and outcomes for people across Essex. And that is what we are going to be doing with LGR. This is a long process, right? It's not going to happen overnight. There's going to be lots of twists and turns. There'll be lots of updates. I will be coming back onto Facebook Live throughout the course of the next few weeks and months to tell you exactly what we're doing with LGR, to tell you exactly what we're doing with devolution. So please, if you're interested in it, stay tuned. But expect me to counter the nonsense. And expect me to be on here saying really clearly, if people are promoting nonsense and rubbish about this, I'm going to call it out, because this is fundamental. We can't lose our bottle now as politicians, right? As I said, I'm abolishing my job. We can't bottle the big fundamental changes that are needed to shake things up. It's not lost on me, this irony. We need to reform Essex, and the people against that reform are reform. Anyway, moving on. The next thing that we want to talk about is the Community Safety Summit. Community safety is one of the key pledges for the administration this year. And on Wednesday, we've got a summit. So if you are a resident and you want to come and talk to us about community safety, you want to let us know about any incidences, you want to let us know about anything that you think we need to know about in respect of intelligence or anything like that, you can come along to our Community Safety Summit. It's between 12 noon and 2 p.m. on Wednesday, the 12th of February, and it's going to be held at the new Futures event space, which is the old Easy Gym next to Wilkinson's in Basildon Town Centre. So you can come along and you can talk to us about anything to do with community safety. In the afternoon, I'm then bringing together the police, the community safety, security experts, people that are involved in technology. We're going to come together. We're going to have a conversation about how we can make our town centres safer. I'm particularly interested in Wickford around how we can make our commercial units safer on our high street, and on also, things like the number of vehicles that are being nicked at the moment, how we can make our vehicles more secure. We've got a lot of people that work on the tools that are telling us that they're having their tools in their vans nicked as well. So making sure that we've got some security measures in place for that. So we're going to go through all of that next Wednesday. It's never happened before in Basildon. We've never brought together all of the different agencies or the different experts and the different stakeholders around community safety. So it's a really important moment for us next week, and it's going to give us the opportunity to then think through how we invest money, what we spend our money on, and the outcomes that we want to achieve in order to make our community safer. So please do, if you can, come along next Wednesday between 12 and 2 o'clock to give us your view on community safety. Next up, I want to just give you an update. Some of you may have seen the video that I posted earlier on this morning in respect of the update on police. So last week I was on to let you know about the fact that the Police and Crime Commissioner was looking to sack around 200 police officers, both frontline and every single PCSO. There was the danger of closing the police station and also our custody suite being closed as well. What happened after that is I spent a lot of last week lobbying the Home Office, and I know other council leaders, MPs, the Police and Crime Commissioner's Office, everybody was lobbying the Home Office to see if we could get some more funding so that we didn't have to do that. We managed to get an additional £2.2 million out of the Home Office last week, which means that in total, £27.1 million of new money. So completely new money was invested by the Labour government into additional policing here in Essex. Now, as a consequence of that, all of the PCSO's jobs have been saved, so there will be no cuts to PCSOs. I was at a meeting on Friday with the Chief Constable and the Crime Commissioner. I am not convinced, even though they tell us they're not closing police stations, I'm not convinced that they won't reduce the hours that the front desks are open for the public to be able to go and speak to the police. So I think we need to be on standby that is a potential cut that is coming down the tracks. I also think they're going to continue to cut frontline police officers as well. So regular police officers. So there's a view that they might cut up to 50, maybe even 60 frontline police officers there. And the Chief Constable was adamant that he will not reopen the custody suite in Basildon. I think that's wrong. Talking to frontline police officers at the police station, they think it's wrong. They're spending their time sat in their police cars in traffic up to Southend or to Colchester in order to take prisoners to custody in those areas. It's madness to me. And I have to say, I've been looking into the budget of Essex Police, and I think there are some anomalies. So I haven't been around for the last 3 years. This is the first time I've been back and I've been having a look at it. But for an organisation as running an operational budget of £433 million, to only have £12 million in reserve is a bit of a nonsense. Here at Basildon Council, we run a budget of £30 million and we have around £35 million in reserve. So it strikes me as odd that this time last year, the Essex Police and Crime Commissioner, going into an election year, both a general election and a Police and Crime Commissioner election, was telling us that Essex Police had never had as many police officers and crime was falling and everything was wonderful. Now, a year later, with almost £30 million of new money, they're having to cut staff, close police stations and get rid of custody suites. Something doesn't quite add up there in terms of their numbers. And what it tells you is they could never really afford to pay for those new police officers that they were claiming that they had hired, that it was all built on sand and they were just burning reserves and running themselves to the brink of bankruptcy, which is where Essex Police is now. So I've got to be honest, I don't buy it. I'm looking into it a little bit more. Our team here at the council are looking into this. We're digging into the numbers because we think there are some anomalies and we are going to be raising this in the weeks and months to come. And we need to be on standby for what might happen next year and to see whether or not those cuts that the Police and Crime Commissioner and the Chief Constable announced that they planned to do last year are in fact cuts that they roll out. So watch this space on that one. There is a community safety petition that's been set up as well. So also if you can sign that, please do as well. And we will post a link to that community safety link to the petition on the comment section underneath as well. Last night we had Cabinet, that was on the budget and the kind of key areas that people should be aware of for the budget. The £1.9 million investment on returning to weekly black bin collections, to scrapping the sacks and going to the disposable blue and white bags. That is happening as well. We've got the cleansing, the grounds maintenance. We were investing in that, making sure we don't have the cuts that we saw last year. We're investing in community safety to try and support the end of violence against women and girls in particular. Temporary accommodation continues to be an issue. We're continuing to buy property so that we can get people out of bed and breakfast, out of hotels and into proper accommodation as well. We've made enormous progress on that. As a council, we've bought 358 properties since May. We're in the market to take on even more of those properties as well. And families are moving in this week, next week, and into late February as well. So that is continuing to happen. And the big investment we're making, around £16 million of additional money into the repairs and maintenance of our council housing stock as well. That is new money that we are pushing out in the budget as well. A couple of other things just to update you on. Please keep applying for the Warm Homes Guarantee. If you know any pensioners, we're being told that it's going to get really cold in the next couple of weeks, that we're going to get a beast from the east storm coming in. Make sure that if you know any pensioners that are struggling to pay their energy bills, that you're able to direct them towards the council. We have the Warm Homes Guarantee, grants of up to £100 to help pay for energy bills. We've got this running until the 31st of March, so keep your applications coming in for that. Similarly, the Educational Essentials Bursary, if you are 16, 17, 18, 19 years of age, living at home with mum and dad, and they are potentially in receipt of universal credit, or a carer that's in receipt of universal credit, you can be eligible for a grant of £360 to enable you to pay for things like travel, books, lunch, whatever it might be, as you're going off to college, as you're going off to sixth form. So if you can, please make sure that you are applying for the Educational Essentials bursary and getting that bursary through the door to you. We've got the Meet the Leader event, which is taking place. We've got 2 of those coming up in March. So on the 12th of March at Gordon Hall and on the 18th of March in Wickford at the Wick Community Centre. I will be taking part in 2 Meet the Leader events there. So they will be kicking off at 7 p.m. There are Eventbrite links as well. So if you want to go on the council's or in the comment section, you can go on, book your place to come along to those Meet the Leader events. Always a really good opportunity to get out and meet the public, have conversations. 2 of them coming up in March in Gordon Hall in Vange, Clay Hill Roadway, and then in Wickford as well. Small business networking events, they continue on the second Monday of each month at Metro Bank at 8:30 in the morning. So if you want to come and, if you are a small business, you're looking to grow, you're looking to get some mentorship, then the small business events are happening as well. Morgan Sindall drop-in sessions. If you've got issues with Morgan Sindall, if you've got problems, come along every Thursday between 10 a.m. and midday. The team are sat downstairs. They're here again today. I saw them downstairs today, this morning. They're on hand to be able to answer your questions around anything to do with Morgan Sindall. So please make sure you come along and speak to them and get that face-to-face conversation going as well. We're about to launch another Regulation 18 consultation for the local plan. That will go out after full council next week, so look out for that so you can have your say on more to do with the local plan, more to do with the development in the local plan. Some exciting events coming up. So we've got February half term coming up for kids, a couple of exciting events for you as well. The Creative Tech Fest is running in Basildon from the 10th to the 28th of February. So there are loads of different events going on across Basildon for the Creative Tech Fest. Take a look at the website, take a look at all of the different events that are going on. The majority of these, in fact, all of them are free to attend. So you can go along with your kids, go along yourself, go along and see all the different creativity, the technology that exists, what people are doing across our borough in terms of the creative tech side of things. There's also job opportunities and opportunities to talk to people about jobs as well and upskilling. So it's a great event. It goes on, as I say, from the 10th to the 28th of February. And we also have open now the Museum of the Moon. You may have seen some of the pictures I posted and the video I posted on social media this week. It is really spectacular. It's over at the St Martin's Church in Basildon Town Centre. There was about 4,000 tickets. We've sold about, or we've given away, because it's free to attend, we've given away around 3,500 of those tickets already. There's about 500 left. So don't miss out. You get 20 minutes to kind of go in, see the moon, have a look at it, take your photos, take your videos. So again, if you're looking for something to do during half term or in your lunch break or after work, make sure that you book your ticket on the Eventbrite and you come along to the Museum of the Moon in St Martin's Church. It really is spectacular. I went along on Tuesday evening. My daughter hasn't stopped talking about the moon and how she saw the moon. So it's really great for young people to see as well. And honestly, get your tickets. Check out the Eventbrite link on the comments below and make sure you go along. Tenants who are living in our council properties, we want to hear from you, the good, the bad, the ugly. We've got our tenant satisfaction surveys out at the moment. Make sure you click the link in my comments and you get yourself onto the tenant satisfaction survey. I've been speaking about a number of things there, lots of things going on, lots of change, lots of different things, difficult subjects as well. And I know that's not necessarily the lightest Facebook Live that we've ever done. But it's important that we are coming along and speaking to you and giving you an update on what is happening. Next week, I will be giving you a more in-depth update on the budget because the budget will be taking place on Thursday evening. You can tune in from 7:30 on the council's YouTube page and on this page next week to watch the council meeting. Spoiler, it will go on till 11:30. I've got no doubt about that, so get your popcorn ready. They are long meetings, these full council meetings at the budget, but you will be able to see exactly what we are spending your money on. And it won't be a surprise to you. There are 5 things that we are concerned with this year that are the promises, the pledges that the administration is making to the people. We are fixing the bins. We are regenerating our town centres. We are building homes for local Basildon people. We are making our community safer, and we are backing Basildon businesses. That is our plan, that is our pledge, that is our promise to you for 2025. Keep your questions coming, keep your comments coming. I will get round to them, I will answer them. If you've got any casework or any particular issues, email me at leader@basildon.gov.uk. We will work through them as quickly as we can and get back to you as quickly as we can. I hope this is helpful. I hope that these updates are helpful. I read lots of things on social media that I know are not true. I try to combat some of that misinformation as quickly as possible, but these Facebook Lives are the best way for me to be able to do it and speak directly to you. I'll answer your questions as I can, but whatever you're doing for the rest of the week, I hope you have a good one. Make sure you get along to the Museum of the Moon, and I will see you all again next week. Thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Councillor Jessica Power, Basildon Council's Cabinet Member for Jobs, Skills and the Local Economy. On the 10th of February through to the 28th, we see the return of the Creative Tech Fest. This year it promises to be bigger and better than ever. There's 3 weeks of exciting and innovative events with hands-on experiences that will ignite your imagination. Whether you're curious about the latest tech trends or eager to get creative, this festival is the perfect place for you. This is an incredible opportunity for our community to dive into the world of technology and creativity. It's a chance to be inspired by cutting-edge innovations, learn new skills and collaborate on projects that will shape the future of Basildon. There's a whole schedule of hands-on activities, workshops and inspiring talks taking place across the borough, suitable for businesses and residents of all ages. For more information and to find an event that inspires you, head to the Creative Tech Fest website. You'll find the link in the post text. Don't miss out on this amazing month of opportunities and book your tickets now. Let's take this opportunity to be inspired, boost our confidence and skills and shape our borough.